Alrighty guys, so we're out here with our water tank, and for any of you newcomers, this is a self-fill wood heated water tank. So what we did, the tank is built the old furnace fuel tanks or heating fuel. Basically it's a diesel fuel tank that we cleaned out. It was not being used. We patched it up and tipped it on its side, its long and flat side, cut a couple of drinker holes in it, and then on this end cut a door in it that you fill with wood and whatever else you want to put in there as a burning additive. And this big box, that wood burner box, it goes all the way to here. So it's like, I think it's 30 inches deep, long, into the water tank. The edge of it is right there. You can see it. And it comes to all the way over to this side here. So that gives you an idea on how big the firebox is. And then underneath this insulated panel, there's another lid. And I'm not going to take that off of there right now. But under this other lid, which is mounted right here, there's another box that goes right through the whole tank. No water is allowed in there, same as the firebox, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't have a fire. And that is the water line box. So the water line comes from underground into that box with a valve at the bottom that comes out of the tank. There's a water line comes out of the tank towards the bottom of the tank, right directly below that float, basically. And that's how the water comes in. But you can see the ground around here. It gets corroded away by the cattle. So, and it's too high on the sides for a calf to drink out of it. Now, yes, I could cut these down. I could cut this outer frame down. Or I could leave it as is. And this outer frame, I could just grab a fucking hammer, pound it down into the ground. So the framework is a little lower. Can't go much lower, otherwise we won't be able to get our door open. But we could go a little lower, at least on that end. Now I did have a plan on pouring concrete here and mounting the tank on top of the concrete, but then I got to thinking, concrete gets really goddamn cold. So I kind of changed my mind on the concrete situation. So what I'm thinking now, I got a bunch of 6x6 and 8x8 and power poles. So from that point right there, come out to right here. So come 6 feet out to here. And then from that point all the way down to this point. Now, why so far away? Well, from there across to here is 6 feet. So 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet. Make a straight line. So we need 6 feet out. And from over there to over here, I think I had it measured at 13 feet or 14 feet, something like that. Then from that point all the way across to this point is 17 feet, and then 13 feet back that way. Close it in on the end and fill this whole area with a little bit of clay and gravel. And yes, they'll pound that down, and some of it'll get worked out, but that clay and gravel will help insulate that tank around, all the way around on the bottom, better than concrete. That's my thought anyways. You guys tell me if I'm freaking out to lunch on my thoughts. I don't know, but I'm thinking that plus the clay and the gravel will be a safer base for the cows to stand on versus concrete. Concrete, it gets a little bit wet, then it forms ice, it's slippery as fuck, blah blah blah. This way, I think this will be safer. It's dirt. Yeah, the dirt will be froze on top, but whatever, right? It's half of one and half a dozen of one and six of another. So anyway, those are kind of my thoughts here for this tank. And I think that'll work really good for us. So that's what I'm kind of measuring here, just to get my wood all cut. And then for the wood, I thought for them poles or whatever we use to hold our gravel and clay mix in place, I'll drill a hole through it, about a 1-inch hole, and put a steel rod right through it and drive that into the ground on either end all the way around to help hold those in place so the cows can't push them out. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this right here. We're not going to pour concrete. We're going to put a gravel base in instead. So anyway, with that, I'm going to let you guys go, and we'll bring you back a little bit later.
I know she still rides because she was at the club the one day.
Well, maybe she's just going to the clubs.
Well, she only went to one. She was riding a young horse. Usually it's a sorrel.
Well, now you guys get the gist of how this is going to shake down. You okay?
Yeah. The bugs.
That goes there. We gotta drill holes. And we got this 3/4 inch sucker rod from the oil field. Drive that through the hole of the log into the ground, and on either end that'll hold the son of a bitch in place. Same thing with this long bastard here. This one I gotta get in position yet. He's gonna butt up to that corner there, and then up to over there. So and those ones are firewood. And the whole idea here is just to fill this whole area in. So the other day I mentioned that we changed our framework a little bit, because before, this top rail was up 6 inches higher, so it made for the cows having to reach that much farther, and calves couldn't even reach the water like little ones. So by doing this, I'm hoping now that it's shorter, calves should be able to reach the water level. We had a rail that went from the top side here across to that side, but then when we cut this down, made it 6 inches shorter, actually 5, then we couldn't open our door. So we had to take that rail out, and CP's idea was just put these little 1.5 by 1.5 square bars on at an angle, and it just barely works.
It works.
We got like 3/4 of an inch clearance.
Well.
And if this thing settles in the dirt much, we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Well, lift it up and put a piece of steel under the box then.
But this is how I was going to pour the concrete, the same general idea. And that's a lot of goddamn concrete. Plus, by putting dirt basically all the way around, 6, 7, 8 inches high, I'm hoping that'll help insulate the bottom half of the tank on those 3 sides. We'll see what happens. This year will be the true test for the wood heated water box, water tank. You need help with that, babe?
No.
Yeah, looks like you kind of do.
No.
No? It looks like you do.
Get your shit done.
If you think you're going to use that sucker rod as a driver to push those out,
You know what?
your sucker rod's going to get stuck in that hole.
A little less talking, a little more work in there.
Alrighty, we're just about done the easy stuff, so I'm going to let you guys go, and we'll bring you back here in a little bit. Alrighty, guys. So 1-inch stakes going right through the post, so there, here, at every corner, basically. So basically our pad is 13 feet this way and 17 feet this way. 13 foot by 17 foot. We got to fill this area with some clay and gravel. That way when the cows come in, they'll be standing up on top of that clay and gravel. That'll put them a little bit higher, and they'll have easier access to the drinking hole also. What are you doing?
Playing with your wood.
That's firewood for the firebox.
Playing with your wood.
Where are you putting it? You can't put it inside there.
Why?
Well, that would be silly. Because I'll be covering it with dirt.
Okay.
Chop, chop. So it might not, and you know what? The cows aren't going to care if it's perfectly level or not. So it might be a little bit shallow here, a little bit high over there, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. But a standard concrete pad for a cattle, a water tank, or a water bowl is only 4 inches thick. And this son of a bitch, at the smallest, is 7. All the way up to like over there, that's 12 inches. So, yeah. She'll be good enough. And some of you might say, well, BP, the wood's just going to rot away. And yeah, over time. But you know what? I'll bet you anything. These old power poles, they're going to be here longer than me, probably. And if they're not, you know what? If I get 15 years only out of them, I got my money out of them. And I can just cut another power pole and drop it on the side of the ground and friggin' stake her down. Done, right? So that's the idea. Cheap, it's easy, and I think having dirt all the way around and having the tank sit on dirt will be a better insulating value than concrete. Because when concrete gets cold, unless you've got a heating pad running through it of some sort, it takes a long time to warm that concrete up. Anywho, I got to get rid of some stuff from inside the bucket here. And we got to get to hauling dirt over here. So I'll let you guys go. We'll bring you back after. So we put this sandy gravel down on the side and worked it down with a bar so it gets into the curve down this way, all the way down this side and that side as best we could. Couldn't really get this side very well because this was touching farther down. So, but it'll have to be what it'll be. We also have a piece of styrofoam at the bottom farther in there. So I'm sure it'll be fine. Like I said, by putting them power poles in, it helps hold that dirt in place. I'm gonna grab a little bit of clay and dump it along the outside edge, on the outside edge of the poles, like I did right here. That'll help hold that pole so it doesn't push out, even though we do have bars and stakes through the pole going into the ground. I would feel better if I had something on the outside edge. But that's what she'll look like. We opened up our gates so the cows can come to here for water. And as they get up here and mill around this water tank, they're gonna pack that gravel into the clay underneath. I got about 4 inches, 5 inches worth of clay underneath this 4, 5, 6 inches of gravel. So I think this will be better than concrete. I hope. And as they work it down and work it out, we could always add to it. It's easy to add to it. Anywho, that's what she's looking like. You guys tell me what you think in the comments. Talk to y'all later. Alrighty guys, well, turn that fucking thing down. I just went around it on the 3 sides. I brought clay in, drove over top of it, packed it in with the tractor here with Big Blue all around on top. Why did I go so bloody big all the way around? Well, if you watch on YouTube, most of the guys, at least up here, all they do is like 4 feet all the way around the friggin' pad. Most pads, when you buy them, are 8 foot by 8 foot, and then you take 2 foot by 3 foot out for a water bowl, and what do you got left? And the cow is standing on the thing with her front feet, but her back feet are off of the pad and eroding the dirt away. So I went big enough so that when they come up, you can put how many cows on top of that pad and they shouldn't erode it away so bad. At least that's the idea. Anyways, this is a trial and error thing and see if it's gonna work, and this winter coming will be the true test for it. Yeah, we had a couple of minus 30 days for that wood heated water tank back when we first installed it, and it survived all of that, but will it survive if we get some minus 50? So talk to y'all later. See, when she stands up here, and that's a big ass cow, her all 4 legs are up on top of the pad with space behind. Even the one beside her She's not quite as big, but she's still a good-sized girl too. And, well, there you go, you have it. 2 cows can drink from one side quite comfortably without fighting. Right, Betty? She generally comes for scratches, but sometimes she's an ornery sumbitch. Hey? Betty Davis. He's just a yearling, so he's shaping up to be not bad. This guy's 3. Miss 6. You coming for scratches today, Miss 6? Huh? Hey. You got stuff in your... Yeah. Big ass rock in the corral. But yeah, that's how I would like to build all my pads from now on. Most of our pads are railroad ties, and you guys have seen them. So they're basically, we set them up 8 foot by 8 foot. But I think this is way better. Somebody's in heat, they're wanting to jump, or it's a false heat. So yeah, that's at 428. I hope it's a false heat. I'd hate to have her be getting bred right now here in August. That would suck. Anyways, it's almost time where these girls are going to be seeing the bush pasture here in another day or two. They're going to pack that pad down really good, and we'll be adding to it. Right? Yeah. So, anywho, I got a couple things I need to get done here today, so I'll let you guys go. We'll talk to you later.